And I'm live. Oh, I see a red line going across the top. I don't know what that means. Yeah, I'm live. Give me a moment, guys. I just got my own a reminder for my own live stream. Isn't that nice? That's pretty funny. Give me a minute. That's what I was waiting for. I had an alarm set to go off on my phone. Guys, I'm going to get right into this as soon as I take care of all the business here of cleaning up my screen before I get going. The reason I am doing this live stream today is because, and I actually think this is going to be a 2 or 3 part live stream. I need to keep it short, partly because I have been dealing with a lot of physical pain issues the last few days, and to sit upright in a computer chair is pretty much torture for me. So I like to grin and bear it. That's usually what I do. It's why I'm here. And you guys are like, oh, she's fine. No, I'm grinning and bearing it. But I'm grinning and bearing it today for a very good reason, because I have something that I want to discuss that happened to me. And the reason that I'm discussing this is because I think that this is something that affects, well, everyone. I think let's just go with men and women. How about that? So I'm going to launch in. I don't know if anybody is actually going to show up here to talk, to chat or anything. I know Terry said he might show up. So you guys, if you want to talk over here in the comment section or in the chat section, go ahead while I say what I need to say. If you guys have been in on my live streams for the last, well, since I started them, I have a few times mentioned that there is a, hold on, Terry. Oh, what? I'm not even going to say that. I'll leave that up to you. I have mentioned on my other live streams that there's construction going on next door. And I mention it because it tends to interrupt my afternoon live streams because sometimes they're pretty noisy over there. I want to give you guys a little bit of a backstory about this construction crew. Well, number one, let me just say I'm not here to, out a company. I'm not going to name the company. I'm not here to ruin anybody. I'm simply here to share my experience and to hopefully teach. That is all I want to do, okay? And I want to use my experiences to, what would be ideal is if the guys working next door were able to see this live stream and hear me speak in a way that isn't angry. Because after what happened yesterday, yeah, I was very angry. I was very, like Terry has been helping me today with some biblical reference points. What I have is righteous indignation, okay, for what took place yesterday. So what it would be ideal is if these guys could see this, see me in this state of mind, hear what I'm saying, and in a perfect world, take it to heart and change their behavior. But we don't live in a perfect world. So I'm just shooting for that they treat me with respect and, maybe other people in the future with respect. So I guess what I want to start with, and hi, Terry, I see you there. I just don't know what you're saying, what you're referring to there. So, I guess let me just start with what happened yesterday. The construction going on next door, our houses are literally, maybe 10 feet apart, if that. probably 10 feet apart. So if I go out my back door, unless I just completely avert my eyes, I'm forced to interact with these men. Oh, a bird just hit the window. I'm forced to interact with these men. And I say forced because that's how it feels right now. Up until yesterday, I have tried for the most part to be friendly with these guys. I have tried to, given, how do I put this? Given what I've heard come out of their mouths in the past, I have tried to tailor my interactions with them based on the way they speak and act. So instead of just outright coming out and talking about Jesus with them, talking about the Bible, all this kind of stuff, I've kind of tried to tailor it more than anything so I don't scare them off, because I know people coming out, right, just, especially a female going up against a 8-man construction crew, I'm not going to be heard. I'm not going to be taken seriously. So I know all that. So I have tried to tailor my interactions to them. But one of the things that I have done is I have talked to them about, they play music. They play music from the 80s, pretty much. The good hardcore rock music, which I like. I like it. I'll admit that right now, but there's a line, okay? And I'm going to get to that line in a minute. So they play that music, and one of the guys over there I've talked to, and he's a decent guy, and he and I have talked about it, and I've shared stories of, of Terry's life with them, because Terry was somebody that was into the music, was a singer and a guitar player in a band, and has quite a history, quite a really neat history, guys. And I'll talk about that another time. But anyways, I have used Terry's stories to relate to these guys. Let me take a drink of tea, guys. Sorry. So I have, in a way, set up a camaraderie with them based on their taste in music. So yesterday, and actually this was happening before, but I was just brushing it off. I'm not sure why I brushed it off before and why it affected me so much yesterday. I think they just took everything to a whole other level, and I lost it. Just emotionally inside with myself, I lost it. So they listen to this music, and they play it pretty loud. And I went out there yesterday because it was the first nice day we've had in, seems like forever. And I needed to clean up my garden. I feed the birds, so it gets to be quite a mess out there. I want to speak to the women in my audience first. Okay. I want to say this. As women, we have a right to exit our house when there's a construction crew next door. We have a right to exit our house and work in our gardens and be friendly and be kind and, talk to the guys and stuff. We have a right to do all of that and to not be verbally assaulted, also. I'm not being very succinct with what I'm saying. Let me okay. Bear with me, guys. I went out to clean my garden. I went out to just be with God, was my whole thing. But I knew the guys were out there. I knew that this was, I was going to have to interact with them and everything. But while I was out there, the music that they were listening to, if you guys know anything about the 80s music and some of the groups, like, I'm going to pick on Def Leppard right now. Not to say I don't like the songs, okay? But here's where it went awry. Is I'm out there working, a Def Leppard song comes on and titled Pour Some Sugar on Me. These guys have a habit of taking the music that they're listening to and they become very, very loud. And it's very, very, I had the word all day yesterday and now I don't have the word. Innuendo. Okay. They get very, very loud. So that song, Pour Some Sugar on Me, they started getting very, very loud and they weren't overtly directing it at me, but because I'm within 5 to 10 feet of their space, they started talking about out loud. So it wasn't just that I could hear it, it was anybody within a great distance could hear it. Speaking about women and their body parts in very vile ways. I'm gonna have to be careful with the words I use because I don't know what my censorship issues are here. But if you know anything about that song and its meaning, and you know anything about a group of guys that gets together, especially a construction crew, and a song like that comes on, and there's a woman out there, they weren't on their best behavior. Not even close. Not even close. In fact, the level of disrespect, and that's putting it mildly, the level of disrespect that I endured, it was a lot. It was a lot. And the reason that I'm doing this live stream today is because of what went through my head as all of this was going on. And I really wanted to retaliate. Okay. I really wanted to speak up for myself, defend myself. Really, I wanted to defend all women. But the messages that I heard in my head are messages that I think all women hear, or a lot of women hear. And they were things like, and these were the things that I was told as a child and teen when I was put in situations where I was around construction crews. Well, just don't go outside when they're around. Okay, so I have one warm sunny day out of a whole week. I haven't gotten a chance to be outside or anything. And so I, as a woman, because I would like to avoid being sexually, verbally assaulted, I have to avoid going outside on that day because I'm a woman and because I'm, okay, so that's one of the messages that I was hearing. Another one of the messages I was hearing was just ignore them. Not an easy thing to do when you try to ignore them by averting your gaze, by not responding to what they're saying, all of that. And all they do is turn up the volume on what they're saying. They just got louder and filthier. So ignoring them wasn't an option. Because they were speaking a lot in innuendo, a lot of the messages I got as a child and young adult is, oh, that's just your imagination. They're not really saying that. They're not really talking to you. Really. So the song that's playing right now and the words that they're saying, where they're specifically mentioning the female anatomy and stuff, that's my imagination. Okay. So I had a good set of messages, tapes, old tapes running in my head. And I thought, and I kept my mouth shut through all of this, all of what they were saying to me while I was out there working. And I was seething. I was absolutely seething in anger. And all I could do was think about what we are told as men, as women and as men in society. Okay. So here I am, taking up arms for a massive, movement, which I'm not, ooh. Guys, all I'm talking about here is common decency, respect for women, respect. These men, if this is how they'll treat a stranger, which is what I am, what do they say to their wives, their girlfriends, and their daughters? And I know they have wives and girlfriends and daughters. As the hammering goes on out there, let me have some tea. I know you guys have come to my live streams to have fun, and I do a lot of laughing and whatever, but this is a very big problem. It's a very big problem, because if I want to sit here and go through my history, which I'm not going to do, but this is a problem. And the reason that I titled this video, this live stream, what I did, and made the thumbnail what it is because this has tested me and how it is as a woman of God, a woman trying to stay true to her faith, how I should treat this situation. This is one thing I hate about live streams, is because I can't edit. I can't, you're getting me about as raw as I can be. We don't deserve to be treated that way. I didn't deserve it. Who these men run into don't deserve it. After this job is done, they're going to another job, and there's going to be another woman next door that's going to walk out her back door to work in her garden, and these guys are going to pull the same thing. This is not isolated to this crew. I know somebody, dare I go there? The reason this is so fresh for me is because I was supposed to have some construction done on my own property, and the person that was supposed to do the construction actually sexually assaulted me. So, there was just yet another reference to a construction group. In that case, it was one particular man, doing something. I have had childhood experiences with construction crews, which, wow, right? I mean, that I even can say it like that. But is this what Jesus would have wanted for men working in a trade that he was also trained in? His father, Joseph, was a carpenter. So Jesus was trained in this trade. I look out at the work going on over there, and I so often think of Jesus and what he would want for the people doing this kind of work. Is this the example he would have allowed on his crew? Had he had a crew? No. Let me just answer that. No. 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 This is a problem. It's not my problem. It's not an isolated problem. This is a problem. I was asking my husband last night, you know what makes me mad about this? Which I guess isn't a question, but this is what I was saying to my husband. My car is parked right out there next to these guys doing this construction. So every time I go somewhere, I walk past them. So what is the fact that I have walked out there in clothing that isn't sweatpants or yoga pants and a sweatshirt, which is a lot of what I wear most of the time. But when I go somewhere, I like to dress up nice. So am I asking for it because of the way I'm dressed? Because I'm dressed a certain way and I'm going out there and I'm being friendly and I'm talking about 80s rock music. Did I ask for it? No. No woman does. Nobody does. And should men feel it's their right as men to behave in that way towards a woman who's dressed a certain way and likes to have fun with them, joke with them, and talk about music and be friendly? They don't know. No. This is a crashing and burning live stream. I swear. Terry says apologies. I don't think I'm going to get apologies. I'm on my phone because I'm wanting to pull something up here. I want to read to you from Romans 1, verse 28 through 32. Okay? And it says, "And since they did not see fit to acknowledge God, God gave them up to a debased mind to do what ought not to be done. They were filled with all manner of unrighteousness, evil, covetousness, malice. They are full of envy, murder, strife, deceit, maliciousness. They are gossips, slanderers, haters of God, insolent, haughty, boastful, inventors of evil, disobedient to parents, foolish, faithless, heartless, ruthless. Though they know God's righteous decree that those who practice such things deserve to die, they not only do them, but give approval to those who practice them." I'd like to thank Terry for pointing me in the direction of that. The story that Terry told me, and so we're Terry says, hold on, I need my glasses. As I drive, I'm getting angrier. Yeah. He says what Terry was telling me, and he's kind of he's way better at the Bible than I am. So I went to him for counsel. Okay. So what he was telling me was that all men, all people are given the ability to see God. Okay. They're all given that. Then they make choices. Even though they have the ability to see God, they start making choices. Some make bad choices. And in that Bible, those Bible verses that I just read to you, God handed them over to that. I'm, again, doing a terrible job here. We're supposed to, as women, we are supposed to be honored and respected. These guys know nothing of my history. They know nothing of who I am, where I've been, what I've been through. And they took liberties with their language, with their gestures. Guys, I have security cameras around my house. One of them brought to my attention 2 days ago that he did something vile in front of one of my cameras. Do I deserve that? Do women deserve that? Do the wives and girlfriends and daughters of these men deserve that? Yeah, that's what I'm working on, which I do have faith. One of the guys over there who shall we talk about dreams? Shall we talk about my dreams? Because here I go. God prepared me for this, guys. Let me just be straight up honest with you why this is that I'm pursuing this via a live stream, why I'm even letting this be a thing. Okay? God prepared me for this by sending me a year's worth of dreams off and on throughout a year. He sent me dreams preparing me for a construction crew to show up at my neighbor's house for a year. I had dreams about construction on that house that I didn't have a clue why I was dreaming those dreams. But every single one of those dreams showed me something that would happen, both things that the construction crew would do and things that I would do. I had dreams for a year beforehand. God was preparing me for a year. When they showed up, within about, I don't know, maybe 2 or 3 weeks, God told me about one of them, specifically singled out one of the guys. His name is Joe. God has plans for Joe. So because God singled him out and showed me what he showed me about Joe, I have, based on what God has shown me, talk about having faith, guys. I trusted my Heavenly Father that what he was showing me about this man, I trusted my Heavenly Father, thereby trusting Joe. Joe has not let me down yet. So yesterday, when these guys were being disgusting, and not Joe, but other guys on the crew, Joe made a comment that he had made one other time when I came outside. He said, "Uh-oh, here comes trouble." And he and I are just having fun. I trust him. But yesterday, when he said that, that was the second time I heard that out of him. I looked at him. And at this point, I was so sick and tired of the crew and what I had endured. And when he said, "Uh-oh, here comes trouble," I said, "You don't want to start trouble with me." Poor Joe. Poor Joe, because he was just having fun with me and was not expecting to get the wrath. But he was the one that opened the door for me to be able to have a voice. And this is why I know God has chosen this man. I'm sure there is a head of this crew, someone in charge. You know what I think? I think God has put Joe in charge of this crew. So because Joe made his comment that he did, and I said what I said to him, when they all went to lunch, they came back and the crew had all been switched around so that the offenders were no longer working. I'm looking to the side here because they're literally right here right now. They were no longer working down the side of the house, so I was free to go out. That's not to say that their behavior was a whole lot better, but the extremely explicit, vile stuff was put to a stop because those people were moved. I will not allow, as much as it is in my power to do, I will not allow, at the very least, for other women to leave their house around a construction crew and have to play old tapes in their head of, well, just don't go outside when they're around, even though it's the only nice day that has been in existence for a while. Oh, this is all in your imagination. Just ignore them. I will not allow for any more women within the sound of my voice to ever allow those tapes to play in their head. Ladies, you deserve respect. I deserve respect. I deserve, you deserve, we all deserve to be able to go out of our houses and for men with filthy mouths who have made choices for their life that have led them to the point at which they feel it's okay to do what they were doing. Oh, I'm going to catch flack for this. Isn't that funny? As a woman, I'm not even allowed to speak my mind. And that's just even more what makes me mad, is I can't even speak my mind without knowing without a doubt that I'm going to catch flack for what I'm saying, for defending myself, for defending other women. I got really spoiled because I had a construction crew here on my house not too long ago, and they were in in some of my videos because they were working on the roof. The owner of that company was about the most respectful man I've ever met. One of the most respectful men, okay? The guys that worked on the crew, while I knew what these guys did off the job, when they were on the job, oh my gosh, guys, they were so respectful to me. So respectful. They didn't use bad language. They didn't refer to me as a sexual object. They listened to decent music, or if I was outside, they turned their music down. They treated me with respect. And because God blessed me with such a wonderful crew on my own house, He also sent me men that were a perfect example of what a construction crew should act like, or how a construction crew should act. While these men weren't perfect, they weren't Christ-like, I'm fairly certain, at least in comparison to what's going on next door, Jesus would have been proud of the crew that worked on my house. So I know it's possible for a group of men to get together and do work and be kind to women that cross their path. It's possible. It happened. I have video proof of it because I have my security cameras. Like I told my husband last night too, another thing that I told him. I'm like, you know what makes me mad is because I don't feel like I can defend myself in the moment because I first have to think about, mm, will my neighbor get upset because I'm yelling at their crew? Will the both of them get upset? Will my husband get upset with me because I'm too angry or I don't know? But I had to think about everybody else before I could even think to open my mouth to defend myself. That makes me mad. That is even a thought in my mind is that I first have to protect everybody else before I protect myself. That in part is programming. It is also part of what we women are taught. We don't deserve it. We don't ask for it. And we have a right on our property, in our homes, in our gardens, to be treated with love and respect. Maybe it's asking too much to be treated with love. I didn't ask for it because I said I liked 80s rock music. I didn't ask for it because I went out there dressed nice, not dressed sexy, dressed nice, and had a conversation with them, joked with them, had fun with them. I didn't ask for it. I didn't ask for what I got yesterday. And I did let Joe know, because I forgot I was talking about Joe. I let him know I was not mad at him. And I know that he was integral in the switching of the crew to tone down some of the insanity that I had to put up with. They knew I was mad. They knew their crimes. Joe is doing God's work, and I wish, in fact, I'm welling up with tears because I wish Joe could know that. Because the thing about Joe, if he isn't now, he was, I'm pretty sure, a pretty hard partying, hard living guy. But he's a decent guy, and God chose him. And I told him, I did go up to him at one point about 2 weeks ago, and I said, okay, I'm just going to come out with this and let you know, God sent me a dream about you. And so I need to talk to you at some point. I need to talk to you and tell you about this. And he was like, uh-oh, what happened? What did he say? What's wrong? Is everything okay? But how do you launch into that conversation? I mean, because I know what must run through somebody's mind, especially all of us are sinners, right? So especially someone who's really close to their sin or aware, that they do a lot of sinning and stuff. But he listened to me. I told him, I said, I know what I sound like. I just said to you, I had a dream about you. God sent a dream about you. I know what I sound like. And he goes, no, it's okay. Joe is the leader of that crew. God installed him as the leader of that crew, as far as I'm concerned. Let me see, because Terry has been, everybody showed up, or a few people showed up. Hi, Bubby. Haven't seen you in a while. Hi, Ashley. Oh my gosh, Ashley. May Snowfly. Guys, I have been rambling. How long have I been rambling for? 40 minutes. 40 minutes. I don't know. How long ago did you guys get in here? Oh, what time is it now? Oh, so you're pretty new. Yeah, I have a construction crew working next door, guys, and I had to listen to some pretty vile stuff yesterday. And so I had to do a live stream today. I was trying to make it one that would help teach people. But like I was saying, as I go back on one of the things that I was saying, not take it back, but go back to what I was saying. God sent me dreams about this construction crew long before they showed up. So for me personally, for everything that I endured yesterday, I also know that God has called me into this situation to treat it. This is why I love my Heavenly Father so much, because He called me to use this situation to teach. These men will not be done with this job before I get a chance to have a word or two or many with them about God, about Jesus, about the way that they should treat women, about the way that they should act as professionals, which they're professionals. It just kills me. It kills me because they're going to go on to another job and they're going to keep this up. This is going to keep going. So if I don't do what God has called me to do, this is just going to continue. They'll just go on to another job and another and another. God doesn't send me dreams. He doesn't give me the signs that He does for me to ignore them. And everything that happened yesterday is also teaching me about how to heal from what happened to me because of other construction crews in my childhood and in my teen years. Literally right now, my house, my property, and that property next door are a school. They are a school for myself and for those, depending on the day, 5 to 8 men, and then my neighbors, the people that live there. God has chosen these 2 plots of land to teach, and I'm going to take advantage of what my Heavenly Father has given me. And I am honored to do it. And I am fine with doing the personal work it takes to face and deal with my own trauma history, face and deal with the trauma that I had to put up with yesterday, and then to also help these men to be better men. And I'm not gonna help them all. I know that. There's one on that crew that, well, I think if I told you what I want to say, I think it would be unbelievable to you. But based on my life experience, I know I'm nailing it perfectly. To use a construction euphemism, I'm nailing it perfectly. This one man, the devil has a hold of him, and I don't even know how this man's going to get out of that. I don't think any amount of me trying to help him or Jesus himself is going to help this man. So let me see what people are saying. Someone vacated the. Let's see. I chase people out. Let's see. Bubby. Oh my gosh, here, let me see. Blast some sounds. Okay, Bubby, this is Bubby's advice. Okay, Bubby, did that. Did that. I had it going so loud for the rest of the afternoon in my house. I'm blessed with a surround sound system throughout my house, so I can blast music like crazy. So blasted the sounds. I'm with you on that. Put some whiskey in my coffee. Well, I'm not a whiskey drinker, so I couldn't do that. But maybe a cup of tea, some calming tea, and lose your down buzz when the construction crew makes you mad. Oh, okay. Bubby, they were playing 80s music, which isn't a problem, like Def Leppard, um, Poison, just that 80s music, 80s hairband rock music, which I like. I don't have a problem with it. It's when you take a song, and some of those songs were extremely explicit in their sometimes they were just explicit. Sometimes the innuendos in the song were explicit. And that's what they were doing, was taking the songs and then Bubby, you know how you were talking in the live stream the other day about how powerful words are? How we, with our words, broadcast? I think that's what you were saying. We say with our words the power that they hold. These men took these songs, and I was picking on Pour Some Sugar on Me, but they took these songs, and because I was within 5, 10, 15 feet of them, depending on where I was on my property, they were talking about the female anatomy. Vile stuff I cannot say on this channel. And when I would turn on my water, and it would get my water would get louder, it's like it would get louder in my garden. They would just turn up the volume on their voices. They just got louder and said the things that they said. I couldn't not hear it. Sometimes I'm in my house, I can hear them through the walls. So literally, Bubby, what you're saying as far as turning up the tunes, that's what I have to do. But that's a problem, Bubby. Guys, all of you, that's a problem. Look at me. I'm just blessed with a forum. What about the next woman they run into that doesn't have a forum to speak out? What about her? What about the children that might be playing next door next time, that these guys think it's okay to talk like this? What about them? I didn't ask for this. No woman asks for this. And I know you're not saying that, Bubby. I'm not saying that to you. I'm saying that. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to make this into a crying fest here. Yeah, guys, read what Terry's saying, because poor Terry. Oh my gosh, guys, talk about a saint, you guys. Poor Terry had to catch the brunt of my anger and my pain yesterday because I had to send him messages. I sent him messages venting my anger and my pain. So he knows exactly what was going on. So what he is saying in the chat tells you exactly what was going on and why I'm here and doing a live stream about this. I don't have a problem with the music. I don't have a problem with the world. What I have a problem with is when you take things of this world like that music and turn it into a weapon. That's when it becomes a problem for me. And I had hoped to come on here and give a lesson in faith, and because my faith matters in this. My faith is what's getting me through this right now. My faith in God, my Heavenly Father, is what is instructing me every step I am taking where this is concerned. And that is what I was hoping to do. But it's very hard to do when you do a live stream and you can't edit out a bunch of maybe stuff that just takes up too much time, in getting to the point of the story. Sorry, guys. Bubby says, oh, yeah, that's wrong. Wrong, A. No need to be rude to anyone. Swearing and abusing is a no-no in my book. And holy cow. Oh my gosh, the swearing. I didn't even touch on that. The FUs and the F off, all that kind of stuff that was going on, the way they were speaking to each other. Literally, it's two people standing next to each other and they're yelling this at each other. The volume of their voices was done for my benefit. I would argue it was for my detriment. But the volume was done because they were trying to make sure I heard what they were saying. And the reason that I know, again, why this is not proper behavior, okay, I mean, I just know it's not proper behavior. But when they switched the crew around and they put the new group over here, the guy that was in charge of the other two guys kept telling them, keep the music turned down, watch your language, so they do know what is right and wrong. There are people working on that crew that know what is right and what is wrong. However, that there is even these kinds of people that feel that this is okay. Working on that crew is a problem. It's a problem. Let me see. I saw the chat go by. Bubby says, some people will exploit any weakness they consider usable in others to suit their own idea of perverse enjoyment. Those kinds of people are weak and lack self-control. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't... Okay. My husband came home. I don't know how I appeared. If I appeared, if they were able to see that they were affecting me in the way they were affecting me. I will say at one point, the one guy that I can't even tell, if I told you the truth about what I believe about this man, you wouldn't believe me. But when he was talking, I was out at the farthest corner of my yard planting a pot. I was working on a pot of with a little tree and a little plant. I was using potting soil and working on it. This guy, with what he was saying, at one point, I had my hands in fists and I put them at my side, and I had just stiffened up and stood there and closed my eyes. And then I turned my head away from them because I didn't want them to see me. And I just looked up at the sky and I just asked God, please help me. Please help me with this. So my outward appearance, that would be the only time I feel like I felt like where I might have appeared to be being affected by their behavior, other than to say to Joe when he was saying, here comes trouble. And I said, you don't want trouble from me. I think those are the only 2 times that I show that they were affecting me. The rest of the time, it just got to the point where I was ignoring them. I wasn't anymore, when I walked by them, I wasn't smiling at them or joining in on the conversation or anything. I was not going to condone filthy language and bad behavior. I wasn't going to. So, if my silence is what gave them permission to get louder, I guess that's what happened. Which is why I want to address this, which is why I'm making this live stream, and why I'm going to, God prepared me for this. Something will get said, for sure. Oh. I see Terry saved something. I don't even want to look at it, Terry. If you got rid of it, then, and I can tell by the name that you deleted that for a reason. Thank you, Terry. Thank you for being my muscle. Terry says, we live in a wicked and perverse generation. Bubby says, those, quote, guys would have baited you into a confrontation. Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I know that one of them is capable of doing exactly that, Bobby, is confrontation, because the neighbor woman, the woman who lives in the house that's being worked on, I have had several conversations with her where she has said that she isn't able to speak to this person because he's, she was saying he's passive aggressive. I don't know, but someone that likes to do that, likes to use confrontation to bait people. Very curious what got deleted. Curious only in that I'm grateful to Terry that you caught that and took care of that. Wow. But I think it probably without even reading it, it probably proves my whole point that a man, I'm saying it's a man because it's a man in the picture, shows up in the live chat and makes a comment that my brother in Christ feels the need to delete. And oh, by the way, Terry, you can boot that guy off the channel altogether, I believe. I believe you have that power as a moderator. But that he's here and saying whatever it is he said just proves my point. Just proves my point. It's more people here to victimize women. Problem is I'm not going to be a victim to this. I'm simply doing what my Heavenly Father has called me to do. I'm here doing a live stream. I'm here talking to all of you. I'm here trying to learn what my role is in this world. And I'm trying to make it a better place with the help of guys like you, Terry, and Bubby. It looks like Ashley couldn't stay. Might be best anyways. Oh, I don't know. No, maybe. Let's see. Bobby says, let me tell you about Australian construction workers. You would be totally blown away with what language these mongrels are capable of. Whoa, Nelly. Yeah, believe me, I've heard it all. I've heard it all. I know what people are capable of. Sadly. But this is a problem. So, okay. I guess what I'm going to say, put an end to this live stream. God sent me dreams for a year that this construction was going to take place. He prepared me ahead of time. He showed me the construction crew. He showed me things that I would do. He showed me so much, guys. He prepared me for this, which is why I know that this is something that I'm meant to address and face. Next, no woman asks for that kind of language to be used around them. No woman deserves to be abused in any way, shape, or form. And we have a right as women, as people, to go out into our yards and expect some level of peace. I understand there's, they can have their music playing, they can make noises with the tools, they can talk amongst themselves. They don't need to yell it. They don't need to get graphic with their language about the female anatomy, about sexual acts. They don't need to do that. And I know that these men should be acting in a professional manner. And I know that my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ, would not condone this behavior, would not condone it. Terry sent me a message today and told me about how Jesus went into a temple that had been defiled, and Jesus completely wiped the place out in his righteous indignation. And that is where I'm at. That Jesus was able to exact justice in a situation where a temple had been defiled shows me that he would not want this. This is not the construction crew, the carpentry crew that Jesus would want. And these men should be behaving more like Jesus, as far as I'm concerned. Terry says, in a nutshell, the comment basically was this: Jesus would have kicked some tail. Are you talking about what I'm talking about, Terry? Or are you talking about what that person that you deleted, what they said? Oh my gosh. Okay, guys. I had to say it. I had to say this. I had to. I don't think I should have to take this. I don't think other women should have to take this. I don't. And I know. Let me see what Bubby says. Disgusting behavior towards others is mental abuse. Record what you hear and play it back to the head of the construction business if you have to. Guess what, Bubby? I have security cameras. Guess what? My security cameras record audio. So yeah, I've got that entire thing on audio and video. Yeah. Oh. Bubby says, sorry, I meant disgusting. So he's saying disgusting behavior towards others is mental abuse. Don't you just love it when autocorrect strikes? Disgusting behavior towards others is mental abuse. Record, yes. Exactly. Exactly. Thank you, Bubby. Thank you. And I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad you showed up. I'm glad that men showed up into this chat. You know, I need men. I need good men that know how to behave properly to be an example in my chat of what a true man is like. And guess what? It doesn't look that hard to do. I'm reading this chat. These men, guys, to anybody else watching this, they're not having any problem being decent guys. Not having a problem. It's not hard to do. Not hard to do. Okay. All right. Well, now I've gone a whole 1 hour and 7 minutes on this, and I'm not even sure. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Thank you both Terry and Bubby, for being here. Now, it's funny. I'm watching the people who comes in and out of this chat. And it's just interesting to me, or in and out of this live stream. Thank you so much, guys, for showing up for me. I can't tell you what that means to me. I need men in my life that model good behavior. I sadly have not known very many of them. I've got a good and decent husband, and I have clearly 2 good and decent friends that will back me up. So I appreciate it. Let's see. Okay, so Terry, I mean, I guess, hold on. Okay, so I see why it got held for review, Terry. Not the finest language, but at least he's backing up what my point. You know, I almost want to let it put it back in the chat and let it be there, because this guy wasn't being rude to me. He was just not using the best language, but was making the same point that Jesus would have. So I'm going to go ahead and approve that, Terry. I know it's not the best. Oh, I don't know how to make it come back. Oh, because it was deleted. Okay. Okay, so a little bit further back in the chat, and I appreciate, Terry, that you were on top of this, but I don't want this guy. Monkey Love Magic is his name. What he said is Jesus would kick bleep. That's what. Okay, so the bleeped word, I'm not going to say, but the sentiment is correct. So, Monkey Love Magic, if you watch this back, I've got my moderator taking care of me, and he is doing exactly what I want him to do. And the language, I don't want to use words like that, but you are exactly right. Okay. I want you to hear that. And I thank you for supporting me, because it sounds like that's what you were doing, was supporting me. So if you're watching this back, Monkey Love Magic, I guess more than anything, using words like that in the live chat, it's going to get flagged, and it's just probably not the best thing to do. But I very much appreciate that you're backing me up. Your thumbnail shows, at least to my blind eyes, looks like you're a man. So men that stand up for women, I appreciate. Even if you use colorful language sometimes. That kind of colorful language in the chat is different than what's taking place over there. Okay. So let's see here. Bobby says, it's good to act and be kind to each other. This earth is a wreck. So it needs more good people with a will to love and respect others. Yep. You're so right, Bobby. You're so right. And that's why I think that God gave me these dreams and prepared me ahead of time. I think a lot of these guys are teachable, I mean, of course, everybody in school isn't going to be teachable, but I think maybe all of them but one are teachable. And there's always going to be what? There's always one bad apple, right? So my whole thing for me personally is getting past the pain of what took place, because it not only hurts me in the now, but it digs into wounds that I've had and carried for my whole life. So, it's kind of a double whammy. So it's an opportunity. What happened is an opportunity for me to work on my faith, to work on my healing, the healing of my past, the healing of how I deal with this kind of thing now. But it's also an opportunity to teach others. I think I'm making sense. Chapstick time. Okay. Wait, is everybody leaving? Okay. So let's put an end to this live chat or live stream. I may do another one tomorrow or something like that to condense this down, to maybe share, what happens next. But I thank you guys for showing up. I thank you, Bubby. I thank you, Terry, for showing up. May Snowfly, I know you were here for a minute or a few minutes. I don't see in the chat why you disappeared, but I love you, and I got your text. I just haven't read it yet because I have been trying to deal with what took place. But I will get to it, and I love you to death. So, okay. Oh, okay. Have a better one, E. I hope stuff works out. Bye, all. Much love. Okay. Bye, Bubby. I love you. And thank you. Thank you very much. Okay. So I will put it into this live stream, guys. And as I often say, I will be back. Okay. Okay. Bye, Terry. Thank you very much. And we'll be talking, I'm sure. Okay. Bye.